Get up, kid. Okay. Up.
Get out of the car.
That's awful. Shut up. Okay, go. Everybody, get in the car.
Saju! Please let me go. Saju works for my father. Then take me to the police.
The compromised radio's compromised. Call my SAT.
Turn right.
God, bloody truck in front.
China on your right.
Fuck!
Off ahead, make a left.
I'm in survival mode.
Insane.
Hey guys, today we are diving headfirst into the adrenaline-pumping, bone-crunching world of extraction. We open on our hero, Tyler Rake, looking less than stellar. He's got more holes than a golf course, kneeling on a bridge in Bangladesh, clearly having a very, very bad day. He's taking a moment to reflect on some past trauma, specifically a kid, which immediately tells us this dude has some serious baggage to unpack. Or rather, not unpack, because he's about to get into some more trouble. Before you head off, if you're enjoying the kind of content I make, please consider liking and subscribing. No pressure, but it truly helps me keep the action coming. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how he ended up in this predicament, shall we? So, before Rake was a human pincushion, we meet Ovi Mahajan Jr., a teenager living under the shadow of his imprisoned drug lord father. He's out partying with his buddies, trying to impress them by scoring some drugs from a local dealer. Classic teenage rebellion, right? Except this isn't your average grounded for a week scenario. The dealer, who's clearly not a fan of Ovi Sr., betrays them, and Ovi Jr. and his pals are promptly snatched by some very unfriendly Bangladeshi goons. It's a harsh reminder that when your dad is a criminal kingpin, even a casual Tuesday night can turn into an international incident. Enter Saju, Ovi Sr.'s right-hand man, tasked with protecting young Ovi Jr. Saju, is a family man himself, with his own son's life effectively tied to Ovi Sr.'s demands. He's rushing to the scene, clearly distraught, but unfortunately he's just a little bit too late. He catches a glimpse of the convoy, the metallic glint of the vehicles disappearing into the night, carrying away his charge. The sickening thud of failure hangs heavy in the air for Saju, knowing that Ovi Sr. is not exactly the forgiving type when it comes to screw-ups of this magnitude. This is where the stakes get skyscraper high for him. Cut to Cairo, where Nick Khan, a no-nonsense mercenary with a practical outlook on life and an even more practical haircut, tracks down Tyler Rake. Rake, a man who looks like he's wrestled a bear and lost on purpose, is initially uninterested, but the mention of a substantial paycheck piques his mercenary interest. Nick lays out the grim details. Ovi Jr. is being held in Dhaka, Bangladesh, by a rival drug lord, Amir Asif. It's a city so densely packed with people and corruption, it's practically a death trap. The mission? Get the kid out. The price? A whole lot of zeros, which, let's be honest, is usually a good motivator for Rake. With all the stealth of a ninja, but with significantly more muscle mass, parachutes into the chaotic labyrinth that is Dhaka. The sheer density of the city, the oppressive humidity, it all screams bad news for an extraction. He quickly locates the building where Ovi is being held, a stark contrast to the earlier glamorous party. After some impressive urban climbing that would make Spider-Man jealous, he makes his way inside. He finds Ovi Jr. bound and terrified, the silence of the room punctuated only by the kid's shallow breathing. The first moments of contact are tense, with Rake needing to establish trust with the traumatized boy quickly. It's clear this isn't just a grab-and-go operation. It's going to be a psychological battle, too. Just as Rake starts to lead Ovi out, the whole place goes sideways. Apparently, silent infiltration isn't as silent as one hopes when dealing with a high-value target. The sound of shouting and heavy boots echo through the halls. Suddenly, bullets start tearing through the flimsy apartment walls with a violent rip, forcing Rake to spring into action. He shoves Ovi to safety, then unleashes a barrage of controlled chaos, turning mundane furniture into makeshift cover. The metallic clang of empty casings hitting the floor is almost rhythmic, a deadly beat to their desperate escape. It's a flurry of punches, swift takedowns, and precise headshots, all in tight, claustrophobic hallways. Definitely not a five-star hotel experience. With the apartment becoming a bullet-riddled sieve, Rake and Ovi hit the roof. This is where Rake really earns his elite mercenary badge, practically parkouring across the concrete jungle of Dhaka, dragging a reluctant and terrified Ovi along. The wind whips past him, the sheer drop below a constant stomach-lurching threat. The pursuit is relentless, with more goons popping up from every conceivable corner. The situation escalates to a ridiculous degree when Rake spots their only escape. A massive, terrifying leap from one skyscraper to another. He gives Ovi a brief, no-nonsense command, a grunt of reassurance, and then with a mighty shove and a thunderous thud of impact, they make the impossible jump, landing precariously on the other side. My anxiety levels were higher than that building, let me tell you. Just when you think they might have a clear path, Rake's getaway vehicle is suddenly T-boned with a sickening crunch by another car on a busy bridge. And who's the driver of this vehicular menace? None other than Saju Ovi Sr.'s man. Surprise! The air crackles with tension as Saju, still smarting from his earlier failure, reveals his true intentions. He's here to take Ovi back himself. A brutal, no-holds-barred fistfight erupts between Rake and Saju right there on the bridge, amidst honking cars and screaming pedestrians. It's a clash of titans, each man a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and desperate grappling. The metallic clanging of their impacts echoes, each blow a stark statement of their conflicting loyalties. This movie doesn't waste any time with pleasantries, does it? During a brief, breathless lull in their bone-jarring brawl, Saju finally spills the beans. It turns out he's not just a bad guy, he's a desperate father. Ovi Sr., that charming fellow, has threatened Saju's own family, specifically his son, if Ovi Jr. isn't returned by Saju himself. He pulls out a worn photo, a stark visual of his motivation. The revelation hangs heavy in the humid air, a silent plea cutting through the sounds of distant sirens. Rake, a man haunted by the loss of his own son, recognizes the raw, agonizing desperation in Saju's eyes. It's a grim parallel, instantly forging a fragile, unspoken understanding between the two combatants. Suddenly, the enemy has a face and a very relatable motive. With the understanding hanging between them like a fragile truce, Rake and Saju decide to do the unthinkable. Team up. It's an alliance born of necessity and shared desperation rather than any budding friendship, let me tell you. Nick Khan, Rake's contact, hears about this development and is understandably wary, cautioning Rake against trusting Saju. She's got a point, considering Saju literally tried to take Ovi by force minutes ago. But Rake, always one to follow his gut, or maybe just feeling a bit of that paternal empathy, believes this is their best, albeit riskiest, shot. They exchange a quick, silent nod, a tense agreement to put their personal beef aside for the bigger mission. This is where things get really interesting, folks. Like a buddy cop movie where the buddies just try to kill each other. All right, hold on to your hats, folks, because this is where Extraction unleashes its pièce de resistance, the extended one-shot chase sequence.
Up ahead, make a left.
It starts with Rake, Saju, and Ovi in a vehicle, immediately getting swarmed by Amir Asif's goons. The camera is right there in the thick of it, weaving through traffic, diving into buildings, making you feel every near miss and every bone-shattering impact. You can practically smell the exhaust fumes and feel the thrum of the engine as they weave through the incredibly dense streets of Dhaka. It's less a chase and more a high-speed ballet of destruction, showcasing the incredible choreography and seamless transitions that make this movie a standout action flick. My hands were sweating just watching it. The continuous shot continues, and the vehicular action ratchets up to 11. We see cars getting absolutely pummeled, motorcycle gangs swarming like angry bees, and the metallic shriek of tires burning rubber. There are a couple of truly satisfying explosions that send plumes of smoke and debris into the already dusty air, rattling the camera with a visceral thud. Rake and Saju, despite their earlier hostilities, are now a surprisingly effective tag team, covering each other's backs with brutal efficiency. Saju handles the driving with a grim determination, while Rake leans out the window, a human turret, dispatching bad guys with a clinical precision that's almost terrifying. It's a symphony of chaos played at top volume, and the rhythm is absolutely relentless. Suddenly, the vehicle chase becomes a foot chase, and the action spills into an incredibly vibrant, impossibly crowded marketplace. The smells of spices and street food must have been overwhelming, even for a seasoned killer like Rake, as he drags Ovi through a dizzying maze of stalls and shouting vendors. The sounds of breaking pottery and overturned produce carts mix with the sharp cracks of gunfire. Rake is a force of nature, using every corner, every piece of cover, and every poor, unsuspecting market stall to his advantage. The close-quarters combat here is visceral, every punch landing with a sickening thud, every enemy dispatched with a quick, brutal efficiency. It's a sensory overload, a whirlwind of color, noise, and deadly, desperate fighting. Don't worry, no artisanal cheeses were harmed. Probably. Just when you thought the uneasy alliance might be working, they reached the supposed rendezvous point. Saju, with a grim set to his jaw, once again turns his weapon on Rake. The shock on Ovi's face is palpable. He's just started to trust Saju, but it's a ruse. A desperate gambit Saju must play to fulfill his obligation to Ovi Sr., making it look like he's retrieving the kid himself to save his own family. Of course, Asif's goons, who are apparently everywhere, decide this is the perfect moment to show up, turning the tense standoff into another full-blown firefight. Rake, ever resourceful, quickly adapts, grabbing Ovi and retreating into the labyrinthine alleys once more, leaving Saju to deal with the immediate onslaught. Talk about a trust exercise gone horribly wrong. So Saju's betrayal has left Rake and Ovi truly isolated, deep in enemy territory. Rake, bleeding from multiple new wounds, finds a temporary hideout, a brief moment of quiet amidst the endless barrage of gunfire and pursuit. He patches himself up with a grimace, the rustling of his medical supplies the only sound in the tense silence. Ovi, still reeling from Saju's actions, starts to question everything, his voice a nervous tremor in the air. He asks Rake why he's even bothering, considering Saju's treachery and the sheer impossibility of their escape. Rake, with a gruff but reassuring tone, tells him he's not abandoning him. It's a rare moment of vulnerability from Rake, a fleeting glimpse of the humanity beneath the hardened exterior. This kid is really getting under his skin, in a good way, I think. Meanwhile, back in the hunt, we meet Police Chief Gazelle, a man who makes corrupt cop look like an understatement. He's essentially Amir Asif's personal enforcer within the police force, and he's not exactly winning any officer-friendly awards. We see him brutally interrogating anyone who might have information on Rake and Ovi, his methods involving more blunt force trauma than a professional wrestler, the crack of a slap, the desperate pleas of his victims. It all serves to show just how deep Asif's influence runs and how truly stacked the odds are against Rake and Ovi. It's a stark reminder that in Dhaka, the bad guys wear badges as often as they wear street clothes. Definitely not a fun city for a leisurely stroll. After another desperate sprint through the city, Rake and Ovi find a momentarily safe place to hide, a brief oasis in their personal hell. The silence is almost deafening after the incessant sounds of gunfire and pursuit. It's in this moment that Rake, surprisingly, drops his guard. He starts to talk about his own son, who died from lymphoma while Rake was deployed, too consumed by his work to be there for him. The pain is raw, his voice a low growl of regret. Ovi listens, his own fear momentarily eclipsed by the heavy weight of Rake's confession. It's a powerful, gut-wrenching scene, explaining why Rake seems to have such a death wish. He's not just a mercenary. He's a man running from his past, and this kid is making him confront it. Back with Nick and her team, the clock is ticking and the pressure is intense. With Ghazal's forces swarming the city, a direct extraction is nearly impossible. Nick, cool under pressure, devises a desperate plan. They'll use the main bridge out of Dhaka, which is currently a veritable gauntlet of Asif's men. She's coordinating with Saju, who, despite his earlier betrayal, is still trying to get Ovi back for Ovi Sr., proving that loyalty is a complicated beast in this world. The plan is precarious, relying on precise timing and a whole lot of sheer grit. The sounds of their radio chatter are terse, efficient, punctuated by the click of a map being unfolded and a finger tracing the perilous route. This is where all the pieces start moving towards a brutal endgame. The moment of truth arrives, and it's a chaotic symphony of gunfire. Rake, Saju, and a small but heavily armed team of Nick's mercs descend upon the bridge. It's a gauntlet as expected, with Amir Asif's forces dug in like ticks. The air immediately fills with the whiz of bullets and the deafening cracks of rifles. The metallic clang of ricocheting rounds creates a terrifying soundscape. Rake, a storm of controlled violence, moves through the enemy like a hot knife through butter, his movements economical and deadly. Saju, equally determined, fights with a ferocity born of desperation for his family's safety. It's a full-on, no-holds-barred firefight, and the bridge is rapidly transforming into a meat grinder. Amidst the deafening roar of battle, Saju spots Ovi making his desperate sprint towards Nick's awaiting chopper. Knowing that Ovi needs every second, Saju makes the ultimate heartbreaking decision. He deliberately draws attention to himself, charging directly towards Ghazal, creating a crucial diversion for Ovi. The crack of gunfire is sharp and unforgiving as Ghazal's men open up, riddling Saju with bullets. He falls, a hero in his own right. His sacrifice a testament to his desperate love for his family. The emotional weight of his death is immense, a silent testament to the brutal choices made in this world. It's a gut-punch moment that fuels Rake's already simmering rage. Saju's sacrifice ignites a primal fury in Rake. With a guttural roar, he charges forward, transforming into an unstoppable force of nature. He's already sustained multiple injuries, the metallic tang of his own blood surely in his mouth, but he pushes through it all. The crack of his knuckles against enemy jaws, the sickening thud of bodies hitting the concrete, the metallic slide of his knife. It's all part of a brutal, relentless dance of death. He's taking on hordes of Asif's men, a single-minded instrument of destruction, his eyes fixed on getting Ovi to safety. Every punch, every shot, every takedown is fueled by a combination of vengeance and a desperate need for redemption. This man is beyond tired, but not beyond lethal. While Rake is busy turning the bridge into a graveyard for bad guys, Ovi, terrified but determined, makes his final sprint towards the waiting extraction helicopter. The blades churn the air with a deafening roar, whipping up dust and debris. Nick Khan, ever the professional, extends a hand, pulling Ovi onto the chopper with a strong, reassuring grip. The relief on Ovi's face is palpable, a desperate sob escaping his lips as he realizes he's finally safe. The helicopter lifts off with a powerful whoosh, leaving the bloody chaos of the bridge below. They've got the package, but the cost for Rake is clearly going to be immense. The kid is safe, but our hero is still down there, fighting for his life. Rake, a man truly on the ropes, finally corners the smug, despicable police chief Ghazal. The sounds of the distant helicopter fading, the bridge now eerily quiet save for their heavy breathing. This is it, the final showdown. Despite being riddled with bullets and running on fumes, Rake engages Ghazal in a brutal, visceral hand-to-hand combat. Every punch thrown carries the weight of Saju's sacrifice and Rake's own personal demons. The sickening crack of bone and the ragged gasps for air fill the tense silence. Rake, with one last surge of adrenaline, manages to overpower Ghazal, delivering a final, brutal blow. Justice in its rawest form is served. The satisfaction is fleeting, however, as Rake's own injuries are catching up to him, and fast. Just as Rake stands victorious over Ghazal, a moment of triumph snatched from the jaws of death, he is blindsided. Ghazal's lieutenant, a sneaky little snake, appears and shoots Rake from behind. The impact of the bullet sends Rake staggering backward, a groan of agony escaping his lips. He tumbles over the edge of the bridge, a silent, helpless fall into the murky waters below. The splash is almost an afterthought amidst the lingering gunsmoke. Later, we see Ovi Sr., now out of prison, meeting with Nick, discussing the aftermath. He acknowledges Rake's sacrifice, admitting the mercenary's job was done and his son returned. It's a cold, clinical conversation, a stark contrast to the emotional roller coaster we just witnessed. The ripples of Rake's actions continue to spread even if he's gone. Months pass. Ovi Jr. is back at school, a seemingly normal kid again, though surely carrying the heavy weight of his experiences. He's at the school swimming pool, taking a moment of peace, perhaps trying to wash away the trauma. He dives in, the splash of the water a soothing sound. As he surfaces and looks towards the edge of the pool, a figure stands silhouetted, partially obscured, watching him. It's a tall, muscular individual, unmistakably resembling Tyler Rake. The scene lingers, leaving us with a tantalizing, ambiguous question. Did Rake survive that impossible fall? It's a classic action movie tease, keeping us on the edge of our seats and hoping for a sequel. My money's on yes, because you just can't keep a good Death Wish-fueled mercenary down. And there you have it, folks. Extraction is more than just a relentless action flick. It's a raw, visceral journey into the heart of sacrifice, redemption, and the unbreakable bonds formed in the crucible of extreme circumstances. Rake's journey, fraught with peril and personal demons, reminds us that even in the darkest corners, a flicker of humanity can ignite the most profound acts of courage. It's a testament to fighting not just for survival, but for a purpose beyond oneself. As the credits roll, we're left contemplating the lingering questions, the weight of choices made, and the enduring spirit of a man who found his reason to live, perhaps, by choosing to die. What an intense ride.